Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, right? Holy Roman Emperor, especially during the conquest, during the Papal Bull times. Holy Roman Emperor, Archduke of Austria. What was the typical Austrian mark? A swarthy complexion and thick lips, guys. Prominent nose, stuff like that. That's what they told us. He's from the House of Habsburg. His dominions in Europe included Holy Roman Empire, extending from Germany to northern Italy, with rule over Austrian hereditary lands and Burgundian Low Countries, and Spain, with his possessions of the southern Italian kingdoms of Naples, Sicily, and Sardinia. In the Americas, he oversaw the continuation of Spanish colonization, a so-called black man. You think you the good guys just because you black? In history, you think you was just the good guys? Don't take this personal, what I'm saying. All right. He oversaw the Spanish colonization, short-lived German colonization, the personal union of the European and American territories. He ruled was the first collection of realms labeled the empire which the sun never set. He was born in Flanders to Habsburg Archduke Philip the Handsome, son of Emperor Maximilian I, and Mary Burgundy of Joanna Castile. All right. I'm going to show you what he really looked like. So obviously, be logical. What did all these people look like? They don't look like what they're showing us. We're clear with who he is, right? Who's this man right here? You see all over the internet sometimes. Why does somebody say Holy Roman Emperor Charles V right under it, huh? And then they add their hijack African stuff, right? When he's wearing the Holy Roman Emperor attire. Yeah, he's an African wearing the Holy Roman Emperor attire. You don't know history. You don't study these things. The people that do, they know who he is. They just play it dumb. They just playing dumb. This is useum.org. Real quick, all right? Real quick. Let's break it down real quick. Portrait of an African man, huh? Huh? Yeah. Dodge the hijack, right? Christopher Lemore, the Moore, question mark, question mark, question mark. You're asking. So you're asking me. And I'll be like, no, that's not Christopher Lemore, since you're asking me, right? Guys, what does a question mark mean when somebody puts it at the end of a sentence? Do you guys know basic English, right? Wasn't my first language, but I learned this in English class when I got to the States in Boston, all right? In elementary school. He's asking, is this Christopher Lemore? No, it's not. No, it's not. But check this out, what it says. It says, this is the only known portrait of a black man in early European paintings? Really? Is that so? Dodge the hijack. You see what they're doing, right? Oh, we found the only so-called black man in early European painting. This is him right here, the only one, guys. Nine else to see. Ain't no more. This is the only one. Yeah, right. He may have served at the Brussels court of Emperor Charles V. Oh, he may have been next to, oh, he might have known Charles V. Oh, that's probably why he's wearing his clothes. Oh, I get it. Duh. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? Of course he would be wearing Charles V's clothes and attire, an emblem and the hat, everything Holy Roman Empire. And his clothing, literally his clothing, guys. Remember how these people are described with the thick lips, the bottom lip, the chin coming out, the chin coming out. All right, so they're saying maybe he worked, he was there at the Brussels court next to Charles V, who had a black archer. He had a black, so-called black. Charles V was black. His moms were black. All his people around, a lot of them were so-called black, not just his archer. So yeah, most likely his archer was so-called black man. Christopher Lemore, is that his name? Or is that just saying the black man? Christopher, the black man, among his bodyguard. The badge of virgin on his cap is a souvenir. Look at this. This is how they try to explain this badge that only he wears. The badge of the virgin on his cap is a souvenir of a pilgrimage to Halle Brabant, a favorite destination of pilgrims from the Brussels court. From the Brussels court, pilgrims from the Brussels court. Who's in the Brussels court? The Habsburg, Charles V. That's his court. So they're saying he got it as a souvenir. He's wearing it. This bodyguard, this bodyguard, he's wearing a souvenir that the Holy Roman Emperor usually wears, an emblem, right? Rijksmuseum NL. It's a little better picture here, guys. All right. This is where there's some of the chin coming out, the prominence of the Habsburgs. All this. This is not no bodyguard. This is Charles V. We got another image. We already know, guys. I'm about to show you. Drop, you already know what I'm going to show them. In the Larco Museum in Peru. You already know what I'm going to show them. Yo, portrait of an African man, huh? When did anybody prove he's from Africa? I'll wait. Any university, college professor, historian, prove that part to me that he's from Africa, and all these people around him that are so-called black in Europe and European painters are from Africa. I'm still waiting. I've been asking for this for years. Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. Let's keep going real quick. This is the earliest and only individual portrait of a black African to have survived in the late Middle Ages. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying to us. Stop with the lies. And stop believing everything you read on these websites without verifying. How you gonna tell me? Look, bro, oh my gosh. I showed you guys this on my part 6, right? Where did this come from? Medieval times. Medieval times. Family crest from medieval times. I showed you whose name it was, right? This is the family right here. They ain't from Africa. Okay, let's go back. Right? Stop lying to us. Literally, good. Look how they lie to us, guys. The only portrait of a black African, supposedly African, right? They gotta add the African, or a so-called black person to have survived from the late Middle Ages and Renaissance. Stop lying. He has a must. This is from the Rijksmuseum. This is a legit historical place. This is a museum that teaches history, and they're lying. He has a mustache and a forked beard, and his black hair is largely covered by an orange bonnet with a turned-up brim on which there is a gold or silver gilt pilgrim's badge of Our Lady of Hell, a town near Brussels that became a place of pilgrimage frequented by the Habsburgs, rulers, not their bodyguards, all right? Not their bodyguards, all right? Make. Oh, now we're getting specific. You said by people from the Brussels court. No, not just Brussels court, but the actual Habsburg rulers went there. By the Habsburg ruler, and he's wearing it. Let's be logical. Break the spell. Empty your cup. Stop practicing cognitive dissonance. Stop practicing cognitive dissonance. All right? He's wearing it. He's wearing it. Oh, that's because Charles V. That's his boy. You know, he gave him. That's his favorite. You know, bodyguard. You know, he's archer. His favorite archer. He gave him his hat. You know, he's like, "Here, man, I brought you back a souvenir. You know, you're not a Habsburg. You're not supposed to wear this, but I like you. And you got our look. You got the Habsburg look. You might be related to me. Here, wear this." He is wearing a low-cut, deep red doublet and a simple gown over a white shirt. His brown hose is attached to his doublet with double points, the space between them being filled with the white shirt and the codpiece he is wearing. Thin white leather gloves, and his right hand rests on the beautifully worked hilt of a sword. The sword itself is held in an embroidered strap with a leather or velvet bag hanging from it with a decorated with pearls and gold thread, with inset, floral motifs, and has a fleur de lis worked into it. A fleur de lis or a corn plant. Check out my previous videos where they got the fleur de lis from, guys. That's corn. There's an image of corn. And we wore that fleur de lis corn image here. Chiefs, many nations did here in the Americas, ancient America. The man's costume was already rather outmoded by the 1520s, with only the short hair and the beard being fashionable at that time. Interestingly, he is not wearing a palrock, a long overgown which would have concealed his host, the bottom of the white shirt, and the codpiece. The fairly simple clothing and the absence of the palrock indicate that the man was not a nobleman. Oh, yeah, right. He was probably. Why does he have to have an oversee? You see their explanation, right, guys? And if you buy that explanation and you think that seals it for you, then you're very ignorant, and you just biased. You just want him to be so-called white, and you don't want this to be Charles V because that hurts you. Truth hurts. You don't want this to be Charles V. Yeah, you don't want it. It hurts you. I know a lot of you it does. I know a lot of you it does. And so you get these explanations like, oh, maybe just because he's not wearing the overgown, he's not a noble. But more probably, probably, most likely, presumably, probably doesn't mean it is though. Probably doesn't mean it actually is. You might be mistaken. Probably a soldier, probably. And well, we're to trust the same people who just told us that this is the only painting of a black man from the Middle Ages. When I've showed you hundreds of them already. I've shown you hundreds of them already. Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's just Saint Maurice or the Magi. That's everybody. Even her. Even her. She's Saint Maurice. I don't care what you say, Kurimeo. I don't care what you say, man. That's Saint Maurice, man. So we are to trust the same people who just lied to us. And then you're saying probably. I'm pointing this out for reasons so you guys can understand when you're reading these things how to dodge the hijack and be logical. While the Pilgrim's badge makes it likely that he was a Christian who moved in the circles around the Margaret of Austria at the Habsburg court in Brussels or Melican, he was all up in there. A black man. They don't know who he is, who's wearing Charles V's clothes and his pilgrimage hat that the Habsburgs wear. The last place they had to conquer was America's, guys, Papa Bull. Once they consolidated power in Europe and Asia. It took them a while, but they did it. Then they came over here. Taking all the factors into account, the historian Dan Bogart suggested that the man might be Christopher Lemore. Might be. All right, they don't know. They don't know. So stop telling me this is the more. They don't know. This is as primary source as you can get, guys. This is like when you Google, this is the most like historical or scholarly thing they would accept as a, because this is in their museum where the painting is at. If you actually go to all right, so we're Rick's museum, right? You'll see this painting, and they probably got these notes right there, where there says probably and maybe, might be, and that's what people are going off. Assumptions, straight assumptions, conjectures, and assumptions, and biases based on what you want history to be like. They don't want to see this. They don't want to talk about this. Coat of arms image. Look, I haven't even got to this one. Or have I? We've gone through so many. German coat of arms. Right? Right where the Austrian Habsburgs are coming from. All right? There you go. There you go, Charles V. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Who's this guy right here? Well, according to the info here, it says painting in the Larco Museum, Peru, circa 1800. Um, no, this is actually from the 1500s. No, no, it's colonial times. Not, I don't think it's from the 1800s. I remember reading it was a lot older. All right, depicts Charles V or Carlos Quinto, first European emperor of the Inca. He became emperor of the Inca. He took over the throne of the Incas, and they say Aztecs. With the incorporation of vice royalties into his empire, Charles' full titulature went as follows. Charles, by the grace of God, Holy Roman Emperor, forever August, King of Germany, Italy, all Spain, Castile, Aragon, Hungary, Croatia, Sardinia, Corsica, Jerusalem, as well as Archduke, Duke, Count, Margrave, and Sovereign Lord, countries, kingdoms, and less. Jerusalem, huh? Is that why you went to Cusco? Is that what you mean by you took over the Cusco, city of David, Sacsayhuaman? Is that what you mean? All right. This is really in the Larkin Museum, guys. All right, I'm going to read another description here. It says, painting in Larkin Museum in Lima, Peru. This painting depicts the Inca emperors and the subsequent European emperors of the Inca. It begins with Manco Capac, the legendary first Sapa Inca, top left side, and his sister Mama Wakan, top right side. This painting also depicts Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Carlos Quinto as the first emperor of the Inca. The rest were Spanish kings. So yeah, maybe it is 1800s. Okay. So it says the painting be at 1800s because the last two entries are Carlos III. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay. So Charles V is right here. Let me see if I can. Right here to the right, right? And as you guys can see, all the Incas, so-called Incas before him, are his same complexion. His same complexion. Charles V, right? So the coins also depict him as a black man, right? A lot of people know, guys, you gotta get hit with the program. Gotta get hit with the program. Hold up. We're gonna go somewhere else real quick. New share. Carlos Quinto, right? That's what it says right under it. Carlos V, Charles V. Okay? You guys see? Is it matching? So who's the bodyguard? Hold up. So the only black man in Europe, the only black man depicted and made it. What are you talking about, man? Charles V was a so-called black man. What you talking about, man? What you talking about, man? This is another one right here, guys. See this one all the way to the left? That's him too. That's Charles V. Wearing the same clothing. That's not no bodyguard. This time you don't see no sword. This is Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Carlos Quinto, Charles V. Charles V at the end right here. You guys see him? Charles V. He took over the cipher. Mama Waco, and Manco Capac. All right. So Charles V, right? Holy Roman Emperor, and this painting of the Larco Museum of the Incas and him. And he's a so-called black man. Charles V, break the spell, empty your cup, stop practicing cognitive dissonance. This is gonna be mainstream one day. You'll see. This is all gonna be come out to light and gonna be like, you know, Drop Nation was right. Drop Nation got that water. Yo, Drop Nation be on point, yo. Yeah, yeah. You know how I works in mysterious ways, and I'm glad my family was here. When I made family, I mean my tribal, my family, my Yasharala family was here to witness this, and a witness, and I'm glad all you guys were witness to this in this moment. We're breaking spells, baby.